Heyo, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if y'all are new. If you guys are new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, rather than hit notifications. And while you're at it, hit the like button, turn on post notifications so you get notified every time I post a video. Okay, so today I'm just going to get it all off my chest. I'm going to go out and tell you my entire story. We're going through a lot. My coming out to my family, what I've been through over the last 6 or 7 years. It's a lot. So if you want to hear it, watch it, get to know me, go ahead and sit your booty down, grab a snack, come right now. Alrighty, so for my new subscribers who do not know me, my name is Toby. I am from the awesome state of Ohio. So this is a little bit about me. I'm homeschooled, but we'll get more into why later. But I know. I grew up with a kind of big family. We lived in a small house. I got 3 siblings, plus my grandmother lived with me, including myself. And then you got me. I'm like 30 people in the South. Just kidding. But no, we're normal family. Argued a lot back in the day. Not so much anymore because everybody's gone. Everybody moved out. They left me. But that's okay. I like the space. So I guess we're gonna start out strong. I'm going to go into the, I don't know what kind of started it all. And this is some deep stuff because, you know, this just ironically all happened within the same time period, and it was weird, and it kind of sucked at the same time because being so young and going through all of this within a span of 5 years, 4 years, it sucks. So, May 6, 2015, it was 2 days before my 10th birthday. That day I remember going to school. Normally my grandmother would walk me to the bus because at the time she did live with us, and every day she'd walk me to the bus, but today for some reason, or that day, she didn't. My grandma's name was Virginia, but we used to call her Grandma Jenny. I mean, she lived with us for about 6 years because she was in and out of the hospitals. Her health wasn't that great. And someone who really helped raise me, you know, all of us. So my grandmother helped raise me and my siblings. She, at this point, was getting a lot better with her health and everything, and it was kind of like she was okay to help. 4-ish months before May 6, 2015, my grandmother's health started going downhill, and it was hard watching it kind of all go downhill from there, I guess, because one day she's okay, the next you find out she's in the hospital, and it sucks being so close to somebody and then going to school one day and then being gone. At the age it was hard for me to process it. May 6, 2015, I remember getting off the bus and walking home from the bus, which was like right down the road from me. It wasn't far away, but I could see my mother and my dad and like 2 or 3 other people just standing on my front porch, because they were just standing on my front porch. And I mean, I remember walking up to the porch trying to go inside, but my mom kind of was like, yeah, no. And then she was like, I need to tell you something. And then she told me that earlier that day my grandmother had passed away. And as I said, being so young, I wasn't ready. It took me a second to, you know, realize that this is actually and at this point I kind of let myself go. I mean, that was somebody I was really close to, and God, this woman would have supported me through so much. And I know, for those who believe it, she is somewhere in heaven watching me, and I hope she'd be proud of me. But at this point I just remember asking my mom if I could just go ride my bike up and down the street, because it wasn't, I mean, I didn't see it coming. I was getting into a little backstory, I was kind of messed with all of my public school years. I mean, after my grandma passing, I kind of let it all go. I had no motivation to do anything. I mean, I hate saying this now because I mean, it's so friggin' embarrassing, but I let myself go to a point where it started affecting my personal hygiene. I mean, it sucked, and I mean, I knew it, but it's hard when you're so young and you lose somebody who's like that. Like, and on top of that, that's when the bullying started, and I mean, I guess it's kind of my fault, but it started and it got really bad. The bullying got so bad I kind of didn't even really want to go to school anymore. I mean, I dreaded every single day, every day. And I mean, kids are so mean, especially when they have no sense of what they're saying and how bad it actually can hurt somebody. And it did, it hurt. It wasn't until year 5, 6 that it got really bad, to a point where it was like, I remember crying so much back then that it was crazy. I did some stupid things. I self-harmed at a point, and I'm not going into that because it's not something that I'm proud of that I did, but something I did, and I feel like I should share it because, you know, we got so many people out here that feel like they have nobody and there's nobody that they can relate to, but there is. And I mean, it's so crazy how bad things can get. And a second, I remember being so angry. I wanted bad things to happen, but I didn't want to live. I mean, I had really nobody at that point. I hadn't met my best friend yet, and I couldn't feel like I could talk to anybody because nobody else understood. They were just, at least I felt like they didn't understand. I mean, you look at somebody and you think they're so happy at one point, and then the next, it's kind of like, it's just downhill, and it sucks. And I mean, if I could say anything to myself from back then, I would tell me that it's gonna be okay. And I mean, things are gonna be rough for a while, but you're gonna get better and you're gonna be happy. It's gonna be okay. So from this point, I was self-harming. I did not want to live. I didn't barely want to go to school. I hated life just so much. And I finally worked up the courage to talk to a school counselor because they got to that point. I'm gonna be sitting here talking to you. But after fighting for almost 2 months and the school board doing nothing, school principal doing nothing, see, I won't say the name of the school because I'm not like that, but they did nothing. I had proof, I had everything I needed, but they couldn't do anything. So it's kind of like I'm on my own now. So about 2 months later, a month later, 1 or 2 months later, around 2018, I ended up moving to a school called Adela. It is a online homeschooling, which, you know, at that time I was about, around that time that all of this stuff was going on, I had just gotten out of 7th grade and I was going into 8th. And then that was 2 years. We're only got 2 years left, and I can say I'm a lot better. I'm happy. I mean, I don't really talk to much people, but I'm happy, and I really couldn't have done it without the support I have now. But a little around the time that all this was going on, my best friend actually worked with my mother. My best friend worked with my mother, and at the time my best friend was 18. Close to her because at first she was kind of like this with my sisters, and then it was me. And then we started hanging out, and we just became best friends from then. I mean, she was always the person I could go to, and I appreciate her so much. And I don't know why she was sent in my life at the worst time, but I'm thankful that she was sent into my life at the time she came. This woman knows more about me than a lot of people. A little spoiler alert for the next part. She's the first one I came out to. So, yeah, we're getting into the good stuff. So, if you stayed this long, thank you so much for listening to my story. I appreciate you listening and hearing, and I hope that you're able to, I don't want to say I hope that you're able to connect, but if you can, I'm here for you. And it's gonna be okay, because you got this. Okay, so this is how I came out and how I got to where I am now. So at this point, as I said previously, my siblings have already moved out, and my cousins have just moved to Ohio. So it was my mother's sister's son, and then his girlfriend that moved to Ohio. And I mean, it's flipping awesome. So my biggest fear coming out was, I feel like it's everybody's biggest fear. It's losing people. I mean, there's always going to be the people who don't like you because of who you are, but you don't need them. You don't. I mean, if you're in a spot and family doesn't like you and you're able to cut them off, do it. Just because they're family doesn't mean that you have to deal with it. Not mean you have to take any of the negativity that they've said. It does not mean you have to take any of the hate. You can let it go, and it's gonna be okay. Whether it's your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, whoever it is, if they don't truly love you for you and they just talk about you like trash, then you don't need them, because in the end they're gonna drag you down, and you're not gonna be happy, and it's not worth it. So getting into where I told my best friend that I was gay, it's funny because so my best friend, I'm pretty sure it was around 2020, she went to Texas on a family vacation. Lord, I told this woman I was gay while she was on vacation. So at the time, my best friend was like super religious. She was like with the Lord. So it was terrifying. I thought I was gonna lose my best friend, and I don't think she realized at the time how scared I was, because when you sit there and you know somebody's like that with God, and then you know it's against the Bible, then it's like, if you're gonna follow that close to the Bible, then you're gonna be able to cut me off, and you're not gonna think twice about it, because I have a really religious grandmother. Granny don't know yet, but I have a really religious grandmother. She found out. Nope, I am not going on the wheel. Kidding. That's not what I'm worried about. She would cut me off just because the Bible said so. So she'll know, and I'm not really worried about it. So I sat on my bed for almost an hour and a half crying like a baby. So the rest of my family were kind of like really super supportive. They were like, we love you for who you are. It's okay. But when it came down to telling my mother, I mean, it was hard, because you gotta think, I didn't really know how she was gonna react, because she did not react how I thought she was going to, but which I'm grateful for. I still remember telling her I was fruity. By the way, just a little thing about fruitiness. If you go to like Walmart and you see a bag of fruity Dino Bites, you better pick that up and you better eat them, because those things are better than Fruity Pebbles. Just save some for me. I'm fat. But anyways, when it came to telling my mother that I was fruity, she said okay. Like, she knew. She said she knew, but I don't think she did. I feel like all mothers say that. Girl, you didn't know. You just saying that. But anyways, I told her I was fruity, and I told her at that point I wanted to do makeup. And at first it was kind of like, she didn't know how my dad was going to react. So it was like, she preferred I didn't, because at this point I had not told him. He did not know. So obviously he does now. But anyways. Alrighty, so yeah, at this point I have not told him. I've kind of always looked up to my dad, as even when I was younger, because my father, let's just say he only wanted to step up twice a year to play Father's Day and when he wanted to be freaking Daddy of the Year. But anyways, I'm not getting into that, because I'm not getting stereotyped. Just because I got freaking daddy issues does not mean you can stereotype me. Anyways, as I said, I would look up after him, or I would look up to him, and I kind of wanted to be like him when I was younger. because I thought he was like super cool, but anyways, clearly that's not how it turned out. Yeah, I mean, I thought he was not supportive of the gay lifestyle before I came out to him. I mean, I don't know, it's just the feeling. But it was just the feeling of, I don't know, I guess being disowned and not wanting to risk that. So I waited like about a month after telling my mother that I decided. At this point, I worked at McDonald's. 15, worked at McDonald's. Don't ever do that, especially not the ones in Ohio. Don't do it. Girl, I'm getting sidetracked. At this point, I worked at McDonald's, and one day, I don't know, I was just having one of those days where I felt brave, and I came home and my mom was in the room, and we told him. And later that day, I ended up discussing with my mother about me doing makeup, and she was kind of nervous because she didn't really know how he was gonna react. But I had bought a little bit of makeup. I had bought a palette or two, some brushes, and I've had these for like a month. I never really used them. I've had them for about a month at this point, and I was really good at hiding them until one day I decided to mess with it. I got on my bed. I forgot totally about it. I left it on my desk, and I went to sleep. I went to sleep. Left my makeup all over the desk. When he came in, because he came out of my room to ask me something, I don't remember what it was that he asked, but he saw it and he didn't say nothing, and I knew he saw it because I watched him look at it, but he didn't say nothing. And my mom, I guess my mother saw it too, and I was like, oops. So she was like, did he say anything to you? I said no. She's like, oh. And then I slowly, gradually got into doing it and being comfortable showing it off. And I mean, I have so much more confidence now in myself, and don't get me wrong, I have my insecurities, but we can find that in another video if you want. I got a lot of time. Don't get me wrong, but I am, at the end of the day, only gonna get worse if you don't embrace it. Because I remember the point where I was like, I hated myself, and I hated who I was, and I hated the fact that I like guys, and I found no attraction to women, like none. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I've dated women, but I've never, there was this one, she was really nice, and I wish me and her were still friends, but we have not talked in like 3 years, 2 years, but I didn't find her, really more than a friend at this point. I dated her so I could say I had a girlfriend and not a boyfriend, because I was embarrassed. I hated it, because, I mean, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. Yeah, I do. And I don't care what anybody says. I am a Christian. I believe in God. I don't care what nobody says. It is not in the Bible that gays are going to hell. And you can argue with me over that, but I'm not arguing back, so you'll just blocked. I don't care. It's okay. But I believe you can love who you love. Be who you are. And if nobody likes it, or if somebody doesn't like it, you know what? Screw them. You don't need them. You be yourself Monday through Sunday. Every day of the week. Embrace who you are. Love who you are. All of your flaws. It's not going to make you it's not going to make you any happier if you just keep going down and down and down and get on yourself for stuff you can't control. So when you wake up tomorrow, I want you to remember, you are the baddest biatch I know. Don't ever forget that. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my little story. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my story time. I'm glad you guys made it this far, and if you have made it this far, go ahead and hit this subscribe button right in his nose holes. Make sure you leave a thumbs up and turn on post notifications so you get notified every time I post a video. Once again, you are the baddest bitch I know. Love you, bye. Stay beautiful. Beautiful.